Hello, welcome to Jason the Millennial. My name is Jason. Speaking to you here in my bedroom in the great state of Kansas. And I got with me Adam from What the Gym joined me so far.
Hello.
Um, this is my fourth birthday live stream I've done on the channel. This is now my fifth year on the channel, and so I started this 4 years ago because I turned 40, and I just kind of came up with the idea of doing a live stream on my birthday because I was like 40. I thought, well, it's a big deal. It's a big number. It's like I want to do something fun, so I invited friends on, and I think you were there, Adam. I'm sure
Yeah,
for
I
my
was there
40th.
on that one.
Yeah, yeah. So I invited some people, and we had a pretty good conversation and whatnot. And I don't know. After that, I every time it came around my birthday, there's probably no reason for me to do a birthday live stream, but I was like, why not? I always it's something to do on my birthday. That's kind of fun. And
But
hopefully if I can get some friends together, it'd be a fun time to hang out with friends. You never
I
know.
can't believe you're 43 already. It doesn't feel that long ago. It was your
Now I'm
40th.
43.
Yeah,
I know.
crazy.
I guess when I met you, I was 39, I guess. So I'm
Yeah,
still in my 30s.
I would have been
Uh,
19.
I said, you're really young.
Yeah,
Hey,
hello,
Mike,
Mike.
thank you. Um, I didn't throw an invite to Mike because he said he was busy, so I didn't. So I hope that's okay, Mike. I would throw you one, but I think you said you were like busy or something today.
Doing well, thanks.
Yeah, I was just telling Adam I had to do some maintenance today, this morning. Uh, Monday, we found out we had a problem with our dryer at my parents' house, and the hose was all tore up, and uh, I had to go buy a new hose thing and some clamps, and actually end up this morning we went back and bought another hose for another part of the and I had to clamp that this morning, which wasn't too bad this afternoon. So I got fixed. Hopefully now the dryer's working. So uh, I told Adam it wasn't my ideal birthday to go fix the dryer, but it's my day off, so it was a good time to try to get fixed, and I think I got it fixed. So I'm doing a trial run right now with some clothes. So if
Yeah,
that works out, hopefully the dryer's good, and I don't have to worry about it. Because uh, anyway, so that's been my fun. I did go out to eat and ate some barbecue here at a place called Billy Sims. It's a barbecue restaurant. Really good stuff. So I was happy I got to go do that. I got to hang out with my dad this morning, basically. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's going on so far. Yeah, just so this is just a live stream I do where I just have friends on. We talk. If you want to ask a question or have or have a subject to talk about, you can throw that in the comments as well, and we can just have a conversation.
hmm yeah.
Let's
Hello,
see,
Brian.
Brian. I have to work early today. Okay, that's why I couldn't do. That's fine. Yeah, I assume most people are probably busy, but you never know. I just throw it out there, and if you can make it, you can make it. If you can't, you can't. That's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah. I got Norn Red. Thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you, Norm. Okay, I think that's all the comments.
yeah.
Maybe. Let's see. No, I think someone threw one out there. Okay. Let's see. What are y'all's most recent watches in terms of movies or television?
I think the most recent film with Supergirl was that yours as well?
Okay, so I I watched like five movies yesterday.
Oh, you really?
Which you might be like, five movies? How do you watch five movies? Um, there's a website that I found that I go to and I can watch movies on. I'll just say that. And so I see most of my movies on that on this website.
What films did you
And
watch yesterday then?
so yesterday I didn't watch them all at once. I sometimes watch like a little bit of it at a time. Then I might
Yeah,
go on and do something else and come back to it later. So it's not like I watched all of them. in one all in one day. Some of it I watch bits and pieces during the week or something. But I watched The Sheep Detectives, which is on Amazon Prime. So I did
Yeah.
watch that on Amazon Prime. I watched Normal, which is a Bob Odenkirk kind of action comedy.
All right.
I watched Project or I finished Project Hail Mary finally. Sci-fi movie with Ryan Gosling. Um, that took me a while. It's a long movie. It's like 2.5 hours at least or
Yeah. What
something.
is a long movie?
It took me a long time to get through it just because I sometimes I have a hard time watching something for too long before I want to switch it to something else. Unless it's like so good that I can't keep my eyes off it, then I might finish it. But if I'm not like totally into it, I might be like, I'll watch like 30 minutes and I'll go, I need to watch something else. And I don't know if I have ADHD or what, but I if I'm not totally into something, I'll just do something else and then come back to it. Um, let's see. Then I watched Hoppers, which is on Disney Plus.
Oh yeah.
So I did watch that finally.
So you're
Um,
all caught up with Pixar.
yes,
Yeah.
2 Pixar movies that I've seen, and then Disclosure Day. I finally finished that one. Took me a while to get to, but finally I finished that one as well. Um, Cheap Six is great. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sen.
Yeah. I
Appreciate
quite
it.
like quite like Sheep Detectives. It was quite good.
Okay, I was wondering if you've seen that yet.
Yeah.
That seems
I,
like that'd be a
I,
movie.
I did a YouTube short reviewing it.
Okay, you did. Okay, I could.
Yeah. It was a couple months ago though.
Okay. Um, yeah. In fact, I wrote down I've seen 16 movies this year, which probably doesn't seem like a lot because we're halfway through the year now. July 1st, we're
Yeah.
basically halfway mark of the year. So I've seen about 16, which I know a lot of movie YouTube people. They've probably seen 15 movies so far this year. I don't know. Uh, People like Mike and Anthony Perez. Like I feel like I see a review every day. They're reviewing movies all the time.
I think I've
Uh,
seen one a week so far. I've
about one a
seen
week.
I've seen 27 films so far.
So you've seen a lot more than me.
Yeah.
27. And this is not kind. I don't watch streaming movies really. I just watch movies that come out in the theater. I've kind of gone away from watching streaming movies, so I know a lot of people. That's it's easier to get the streaming movies, of course, and watch them and review them. And I don't know. I haven't been into doing that as much. I like to review the movies that are in the movie theater because that's accessible to
Yeah.
everybody. While streaming movies is only accessible to people that have that streaming service, so I don't like reviewing those movies as much or watching them as much. I don't know.
Hmm.
That's my quirk, I guess, as a movie reviewer.
Yeah.
Because we're in the streaming age now. Of course, it didn't used to be that way growing up. You just had to go to the movie theater and then you can get the physical media. Now it's
Hmm.
like you can watch it on streaming and then they don't even make a physical DVD out of it, so you can't even go to the store and buy it. It seems like nowadays.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's what's going to be happening
I
in
hate
the near
that.
future. Yeah.
I like to at least go to the store and buy a physical copy of the thing
Hmm.
if I can't see it on a streaming service. But yeah,
But they're also doing that for video games as well.
everybody's
You
been
can't get discs anymore.
everybody's been talking about Grand Theft Auto 6, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
And I don't get all of it because I'm not into all that gaming like that. And yeah, so that seems to be the thing, I guess. I haven't. I keep hearing people talk about it, but I'm not totally clued in on what's going on. But something to do with they're not doing physical discs, or you buy it and then you have to download it on something. I think. I don't know.
Yeah. Um, I'm not 100% sure how it works.
Yeah, and I know like Pete for Platino Guy has done a whole thing on it. Um, Ryan Swells, I think, from Not Your Normal Geek has done something on it. Elliot, I think from IMO Reviews has done like a video on it. And they
Yeah,
all
you
seem to
did.
be unhappy. All I know is people seem to be unhappy about it. That's all I can get from the videos. Uh, because I haven't bought any new video games in a long time. I have a PS4, and I haven't played anything new on it for a while.
What
Obviously,
was
I'm
the
behind.
What was the last game you played?
I think it might have been Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, that's
I think
that
might have been.
that's a good one.
Oh, it's amazing.
I'm
um,
playing Lego Batman, the new
uh,
Lego Batman game.
okay,
Yeah,
is that a new one or
yeah, it's not been out that long.
okay? I love the Lego games; those are good.
Yeah, yeah, they are.
Oops. Oh boy. Hey, Rob.
Hello,
Thank
Rob.
you. Thank you. Yeah, you're one of the few people older than me on the channel, probably, Rob. I'm usually older than everybody. Rob is from New York. Uh, really good, really good collector. Collects a lot of stuff. Um, yeah, so I can. One of the things I have here is I can tell you I've ranked all 16 movies I've seen so far this year, and so I can go through them here. I thought one of the things I could do.
Yeah.
Um, so number 16, the worst movie I've seen so far is Disclosure Day.
Oh, really?
I think that's so
Oh no.
boring of a movie. It's so pointless. It's about and I haven't reviewed this movie on the channel yet or written a written a review on Letterboxd yet. So this is my first talking about this movie, but um, it's all about aliens exist and these two people know about it and they're trying to figure out how to reveal to the world that aliens exist. And then there's a agency that's trying to stop them from revealing that aliens exist. And that's the movie. And it's like, who cares? Like, I want to know: are the aliens good? Are they bad? Are they going to kill us? Are they, what? I'm more interested in that story, just not, oh, aliens exist, and then we don't hear anything about the aliens. You see an alien at the end of the story, but you don't know what he's about. What was this alien about, or what's the point of these aliens? I don't know. It just seems so pointless to me. I just watch the whole thing. I just go, it just ends, and there's nothing. There's no consequences or anything at the end. It's just aliens exist. That's the ending, and you're just like, okay, who cares?
I just thought the movie was great.
Yeah,
I know probably I'm in a minority there because I know quite a few people that aren't a fan of this one.
I don't think it's getting good reviews. um, yeah, it's Spielberg. Spielberg's a great director, but it's like I don't know. This was just a total mess for me on Spielberg. It was just, and I just thought it was kind of boring. I don't know. I was just uninterested in the story overall. It felt like there's a lot of scenes where people are just there's these big music cues where the music comes up and it's I guess it's supposed to be a big moment. It's just people just looking at each other with big music, and I'm just like, just get on with it, do something. There's too much people staring at each other, nothing going on. I don't know. I thought it was yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah, it could have been a shorter movie.
Yeah, it could have been shorter too. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit older than me. Oh, you're good. Your birthday's coming up. Okay. Hope you have a good birthday. Hey, Ryan.
Right?
Oh, you agree. Disclosure Day was awful. Okay. I'm not the only one.
No, you're not the only one that thinks it's awful.
um, number 15, I have Hoppers, the
Oh,
Pixar
oh
movie.
no. Another one I thought was great.
I said, did you?
Yeah,
I'm sure you like the movie. I
I've not
just.
reviewed it yet.
Oh, you haven't. Okay. I thought it was just a stupid movie. um, it's just such a weird idea for a movie. This girl who's very like environmentalist person who fights the mayor on this dam that's he's trying to break down this dam or something, this beaver dam, and she's trying to fight it. And it's a very political kind of movie, I guess, that I don't care for. And then she finds scientists who are able to put your brain or your thoughts into a mechanical robot, and the mechanical
Yeah.
robot's a beaver. So she's looks like a beaver, but she's a like her consciousness is in a. Just saying out loud, it's just what is going on. It's so weird. It just goes in weird directions. This movie, and she's trying to help the beavers like build the dam, I guess, and so all these species of animals, they have a king. Each species has their own king,
Yeah.
and they wear a little crown on their head. It's like it's so stupid. I was like, what is going on? um, and she ends up. I forget exactly what happens. I'm forgetting details now. But I think she kills like the king or queen of one of the
Yeah.
species on accident or
The,
something,
yeah.
like the insects or something. I can't remember. And so there's a war. So all of a sudden, this like war goes on between the animals. I'm like, what is this? Like, this has nothing to do with the plot. It's like all of a sudden veers off in this weird direction where there's all of a sudden this war between the animals because she accidentally killed like the queen or something. And there's like this caterpillar who turns into a butterfly who's like the bad guy or something. And anyway, it goes in weird directions. Like there's even this shark that gets introduced into the
Oh, I forgot about
and
this one. Yeah.
they try to these birds like fly the shark up in the air and like try to drop it on this guy or something while he's driving. Anyways, yeah, I don't know. I just the whole plot was just I don't know how to say it. I just thought it was stupid. I don't know.
I, I, I thought it was really funny.
It is.
I think because of how stupid it was.
And I don't know. I just wasn't totally when you talking about Pixar or Disney. It's just like the bar has risen so high that it's like Hopper is just so down the Pixar movies. There's so many good ones out there, and it's just like I come down to did I care for the character that much? Not really. Did I laugh that much? Not really. I don't know. Did I? Yeah. Did they have any good side characters that steal the show? No. I don't know. It just was there any musical numbers that are great? No. I don't know. I go down the line of what makes Pixar or Disney great, and it's like I didn't get any of that in the story. And it's just feels a weird throw this movie out there, and then you got the huge one, Story 25, that comes out, later in the summer. That's going to dwarf everything else. Uh, it's kind of like when they put out Good Dinosaur, and then they put out I forget another Pixar movie that was like way better, and so everybody forgets about Good Dinosaur because it's like felt like a throwaway movie.
Yeah, I've not really watched A Good Dinosaur.
Okay, I didn't care for that either, though I know Mike likes that movie.
Yeah, I thought it was alright.
Ugh. Let's see, what do we got here? If you want a good alien movie, Independence Day seems appropriate. Yeah, it doesn't seems pretty appropriate.
I've never watched
Yeah,
Independence Day, but I tell you what I did watch lately. A Mighty Wind.
you did.
I had to see that recently and Best in Show.
Oh man, those are so good.
I'm not sure which one I like more. I think I like A Mighty Wind more because of the music.
See, that's what I said. I think Best in Show might be funnier, but A Mighty Wind has the music is so good.
I really like the whole concert at the end of the film.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. That's how they end the film with the different bands going on, or groups, or whatever. After most of the movies, them kind of rehearsing and kind of talking about it and then
Yeah,
preparing for it. Let's see. Yeah, Hoppers, everyone seemed to love it. Okay. I thought it was all right, but I wouldn't buy it. Okay.
looks like you and Ryan agree again on Hoppers.
Yeah, I don't know if people liked that movie or not, if it did very well. I don't remember. It seemed like it came and went real quick, and I don't remember anybody talking about it. I'm going to see Young Washington. Yeah, Young Washington looks kind of cool. I saw a trailer for that, and I was like, I wouldn't mind watching that.
I've not heard of that one.
Yeah, kind of about George Washington when he was in the army. Uh, one of our greatest presidents.
Who, who's playing George Washington?
I don't think it's anybody big. It's like Angel. It might have been like an Angel Studio type film, like smaller studio doing it. So no big names. I think I might be wrong, but I don't think there are any big names in it. So I don't know if it'd be any good because it's not really a major studio. But I like, it's interesting. It's about, one of the greatest, presidents of all time before he was president, when he was in the army fighting the French Indian War or something like that, and him becoming a leader and all that. So I'm intrigued by it. Let's see. Did we already talk about Project Hail Mary based on book? Not yet. I'll get to that here. Uh, I have Sam here. I'm getting to his stuff here.
Oh, cool.
So, howdy, boys.
Howdy.
Yeah, love Mighty Win. I love all those movies. Yes, I love that folk music, and it's so good because they wrote everybody in the movie kind of wrote the songs, the actors and actresses, and they sing
Yeah, they
them,
did.
and they play the instruments, which I thought was really cool. Yeah, Waiting for Guffman, Spinal Tap, Best in Show. Yeah, those were like the best of the uh, we call them the mockumentaries. The Christopher Guest mockumentaries, I guess you can say.
I've
He's kind
not
of
watched
behind all these.
not watched Spinal Tap yet. I've got it on DVD. I've just not got to it yet.
Okay, that's a classic, and Spinal Tap 2 just came out like a year ago.
Yeah, it's fun.
And it,
I've seen Spinal Tap 2, but not seen the first one yet.
okay, I think they're all right. It's funny, I'm not as big on some people. I think only because I don't like the music, because it's like this 80s like kind of heavy metal music. uh, I like Mighty Wind because it's folk music. I guess I think that's why I like that more. I do like the Paul McCartney part. Was the funniest part of the whole movie.
Oh yeah, it was.
I love when he came in, and
He was in it for a good 3 minutes as well.
yeah, and he comes in the studio, and he and I think he makes what do you call it? He kind of makes gives him advice or something, and then he gets all upset. One of the Spontac guys are like all upset about Paul McCartney, and I'm like, Jesus, Paul McCartney, I would take his advice.
Yeah, that was probably the best part of the film.
Yeah, I thought that was the best part. Sam said he's ready for the Odyssey.
Yeah, I'm ready
Uh,
for that one.
when's that coming out? That's coming out soon, probably.
It is
That
three
comes.
hours though.
What's that? Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think I'll go see it in the theater just because how long it's going to be. I don't know. It's it worries me when it's that long.
I'll definitely a toilet break in that one.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I know it's like a big cast. It's a big fantasy story. I don't know. I don't have a lot of confidence in Hollywood adapting classic literature anymore. I don't know. Like Lord of the Rings was great. I don't know if they can do another Lord of the Rings again. Yeah, Kelsey Grammer. Yeah, he's in it. He doesn't play young Washington, but he plays some kind of politician. Yeah, I like Kelsey Grammer. He's good. Yeah, Sam's a fan of Donald Tap. There is some classic stuff like this one goes to 11. That old famous scene
Yeah,
of
I know about that bit.
why don't you just make 10 the loudest? But this one goes to 11. And it's like, you go, Ryan. Thank you.
Ryan.
Be checking out The Furious. Netflix. Yes, I have that on my list. I'll get to that movie as well. I did go out and see that in the theater actually.
No, I've not seen that one.
Well, it's pretty violent. It
Yeah, it's probably not my thing.
might not be your thing. It's Nolan, so it'll fly by. Open heart didn't feel like 3 hours. Okay.
Yeah, in 3 hours.
All right. Number 14, I have Backrooms, and that was kind of this small horror flick that kind of caught on. Um, and it's not my kind of movie, so why did I watch it? I don't know. It just intrigued me a little bit because I was like, how are they making? because when I heard about the movie, I was like, I don't understand how this is like interesting at all. But it seemed to have this hype around it. So I was like, I guess I'll check it out just to see what the hype is around this movie, even though it's probably not my type of movie. And, but Backrooms, it just, as I said in my review, it just felt like just a elongated Twilight Zone episode, where this guy discovers a portal in his store, his furniture store in the basement. He discovers a portal through the wall that goes to this other dimension. That's all these rooms, empty rooms, office rooms, and he starts exploring it. And then there's noises, so he thinks something's in there, so he gets scared and he runs out. And then when they go back to the room with he goes with some more people. Something attacks them, but we don't really see what kind of is. So we don't know what's going on, but there's something in there, and that part is kind of, it's thrilling because it's like, yeah, it's a little scary running through rooms, empty rooms, and you hear something rustling around, and so you're thinking you're being chased, and whatever. But then there's the main character makes a choice that made no sense to me, and it was so confusing. I'm still confused by what went on in that movie, because he makes a choice, and I go, why did he do that? I don't get. And then he kind of explains it in the scene. There's this big scene where, what do you call it, exposition dump scene, where he's like explains what the back rooms are, and I'm like, how does this guy know what the back rooms are, what the lore is behind it, and all these things that happen? He like understands the world. I'm like, I don't get how he knows all this. I don't know if I missed why he also knows about the back rooms and what. And then the explanation didn't make any sense to me either. And then the big monster that he finally sees like this monster that's killing everybody, or it's killing the people or chasing the people in these back rooms. And it's just kind of silly to me. I'm just like, okay, this is the monster. And I don't want to give up too much, but it's like this monster then chases them, or chases this one person, and it's like, I don't know. I felt the movie was boring and confusing, and I didn't get. And the ending was like, okay, like, I don't know. I didn't get
But
it.
but to you, it should be called bathrooms, not backrooms.
Exactly. Um, so I don't know. Somebody who likes the horror movies, like indie horror, maybe it's for you and it's not for me. So that's one I'll go. It's just not for me. Maybe it was well made. I don't know. I just didn't get it. Um, Number 13, I have the Mandalorian Grogu, and I'm sure you like this one.
Yeah, I like that one.
um, I know Anthony Perez really likes this movie, and we went back and forth on Facebook, in fact, about it, because he went and saw it 4 times in the theater, and I was like,
Wow.
and I said, how could you watch that 4 times? I had a hard time watching it one time. Like, I wanted to walk out of the movie about halfway through because I was so bored. And I was like, I didn't know if I want to even sit through that movie. And I regretted sitting through that movie. And but he really liked it. He liked it so much he went and saw it 4 times. I'm like, okay, I don't get it. Some people like this movie. There's a lot of people who don't like it too. I think it's somewhat divisive, maybe. Um, and I went into it with hopes that it would be good because I like the Mandalorian TV show. I'm actually a pretty big fan of that TV show, and I love Grogu. I think Grogu is great. So I was like, okay, I'm in for a movie. How are they going to make a movie though, based off of a TV show, and not make it feel like an episode of a TV show? And I feel like, and I've heard other people say it, so I kind of agree with a lot of people. It felt like a TV episode, but very long and very boring. And it felt like at least 2 or 3 episodes put together into like one movie. And as I said in my review, I guess to me it felt like just a side quest. Like when you watch The Mandalorian, he has like a main plot. We got to get Grogu to Luke Skywalker or whatever. That might be the main plot or something like that. But along the way, he'll come across somebody and he needs information. So he's like, hey, I need to know this information. And they'll say, oh, I'll give you this information if you do this for me. And so he goes, okay. So he has to go do this thing for this person. And then he does it. And then they give him information. And then he goes on to the next person. And then they say, oh, I'll give you what you want, but you got to do this for me. And that's a lot of The Mandalorian. And it's fine because there's some fun episodes in there. There's some episodes that do feel like filler sometimes, where you just go, okay, they're just trying to fill out the season. And then when you finally get towards the end, then it gets back to the main plot. And you're like, all right, now we're getting back to what the whole purpose of the show is. This whole movie, if it just felt like a whole side quest, like we need you to go to the huts to go find Rodney the Hut and rescue him or something like that. So he has to go to this planet and find Rodney the Hut, who doesn't even want to be rescued. And then he has to find out this whole thing. And then there's the whole thing with the huts. He doesn't want to give him back to the huts. And so it's this whole, that's the first half of the movie is just about Rodney the Hut, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then the second half is about him and the huts and this bounty hunter that kind of, I think he captures him or something. And then he gets thrown into the snake pit and then he gets bit and then he's poisoned. And then there's this really long section where it's just Mandalorian's knocked out and Grogu is trying to keep him alive. And it is so boring for me. That's my thoughts. I was so bored because Grogu doesn't talk. It's just Grogu walking around a forest for ages, it felt like. And then finally, Mandalorian comes back, and then they have to go back and kill the Huts. And that's the whole movie. Anyways, so to me, I don't know. I didn't think the plot was good enough to make a movie out of it. I'd say just make season 4. Just put that as season 4 of The Mandalorian. And I think I would like it more if I just watched that in like increments of episodes. I can probably take it in more than just taking a long movie. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah. What was your favorite part?
I did quite like the part when Grogu was on his own. It was really nice. That wasn't my favourite part though. I think
Okay.
my favourite part was probably like the climax of the film
Yeah, well, they had the big
with all
fight.
those all those X-wings coming in. Yeah,
Hey, Rich.
the rich.
Thank you, Rich. Thank you. All right. Number 12, I have Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Uh, I doubt this is a movie you watched.
I've not seen the first one. I've
I've
not
never
seen
seen
this
the
one
first
either.
one. So I'm watching the second one without even seeing the first one, which is probably not a good idea, but I have kind of a somewhat idea of what's going on. But um, yeah, I don't know. I just watched it because it was like, it's an action movie. I was like, oh, I'll check it out. I don't know if it's for me or not. And I don't know. I hated the two main girls. I don't know. I don't like characters like these type of characters that curse a lot, that are always fighting with each other. They're just miserable women that I was just like, I don't care for these characters at all. And they're the good guys I'm supposed to be rooting for. I was kind of rooting for the bad guys to kill them. I was like, kill them already. So I don't have to listen to these two women bicker all the time. They're just these two sisters just bicker back and forth. And it's like I just hated it. And it was very bloody. It's so bloody, like overly bloody. And I hated this is what, and I'll talk about the next movie. It kind of has the same problem I have is the main bad guys is part of the satanic cult. The satanic cult, just these rich people that are part of a satanic cult, and they worship this demon who gives them superpowers or something. It's just it's I don't care for the whole plot. And like something like it didn't make much sense, but it's like because it's this whole thing where they have to kill this lady because she married this guy in the family, and then they have to kill her and then they get power. I don't know. It didn't make much sense, but so they're all trying to kill this girl and her sister, uh, and whoever kills her gets some kind of they get to rule the world or something. I don't know. It did make sense, but the fact I don't like the idea that I don't like giving Satan too much power as a Christian. I just don't like it because it tells me God doesn't exist in this world, that Satan is like overly powerful and God's like doing nothing. It's like, no, God would not allow Satan to do anything without his power. That's my thoughts as a Christian. It's just like, I don't like that whole idea that this satanic cult has all this power. Anyways, so that's my problem with that, which will go to the next movie. Because guess what? The next movie, the bad guy's a satanic cult, and that is They Will Kill You. It's another super bloody action movie. They will kill you. and it's about this girl who's trying to find her sister, who's who's kind of works for this cult at this hotel. So she has to go to this hotel that's run by a satanic cult, and they try and they lure people in, and then they sacrifice them to their demon god, whatever, which is this pig's head. At the top of the hotel, there's this pig's head who gets the demon thing that they worship goes into the pig's head, and the pig's head comes alive. It's the stupidest thing ever, and it gives them superpowers. So all of the satanic cult people have like superpowers, and it's just I didn't like that. I thought it would be an interesting premise because the whole thing is she's trapped in this hotel trying to find her sister, and everybody's trying to kill her, and she's killing them. And as an action movie, it's like not bad. Like the action's actually pretty well choreographed, I think, and uh, a lot of it's okay, but um, where am I going with? The fact that they have superpowers, I don't like. Like to me, it'd be much more interesting because I like the premise of she's in a hotel, people are trying to kill her, she's trying to save her sister. That's fine. That's a good premise. I can go along with that on an action movie. But then that's a satanic cult that has superpowers. I don't know. It just threw me off the whole movie. I'm like, I don't care for this
It
at
sounds like two
all.
movies. It sounds like two movies in one.
Yeah, if they could have done without that part of it, I think it might have been a decent movie, like an action, just a super cool action flick, you know. Um, and she gets to the top of this hotel, and then she has to fight the demon pig head, and it's just terrible CGI, and it's just like, oh my god, I don't know. I'm done with satanic cults, bad guys. That's what I'm getting at, I guess, with these two movies. I just crazy that I saw two movies this year where it's a satanic cult demon thing is the bad guy, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with that. Please, no more satanic cult demons. That's just me though. I just don't care for it. Mandalorian lost me after the first season. Oh, okay. That's interesting because I think the first season and second season I really love. The second season is like so good. Um, to me, it's the best season. The first season is still good. I really like how they established everything. Third season wasn't as good. I think it kind of fell off a little bit in the third season because mostly because there's like one episode where the Mandalorian's like not even in the episode, and I didn't like that. I was like, no, I want it all to be about the Mandalorian
Yeah.
And Grogu, whatever. Yeah, so I don't know if they're gonna go anywhere after this because it didn't feel like it was the movie was just them going on a bounty hunt or something. You know, they work for they work for
The new,
somebody
the New
in
Republic,
the
I
Republic.
think.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're working for the New Republic, and they're like helping them. They're like basically doing bounties on old Empire bad guys or whatever is the whole thing. They're trying to find these Empire bad guys from the Empire that got beaten or whatever. And so I don't know. They could still go on and do something. I mean, I don't know if they're done with that storyline or what. I'm curious. The movie didn't do very good, I don't think. So I don't think they should make any more movies. I think they're better off just doing Disney Plus stuff. But see, Star Wars as a franchise has really gone down. I agree. I don't know. You know the best thing I've seen on Star Wars. And I'll see if you think this is the Darth Maul show.
I've not got to that yet.
It is so good. Um,
I'm still finishing Clone Wars.
okay, yeah, I gotta finish that.
And
I
I've
think it's
got Bad
called.
Batch. Got Bad Batch to watch as well.
Yeah, there's a couple seasons of that. Bad Batch. I thought first season was okay. Second season, I wasn't into. Um, but the Darth Maul one, something Shadows. I forget now. Dark Shadow. I don't know. Something
Shadow
Shadows.
Lord or something like that.
That was a really good show. Like that's been one of the best things that comes out of Star Wars in a long time.
Mhm.
I was like really into the TV show, so I recommend that the Darth Maul show that came out a couple months ago, maybe on Disney Plus. Besides that, there hasn't been a lot of good Star Wars stuff for me in a while that I can think of on top of my mind. see. After the Clone Wars ended in 2013, I stopped watching. Yeah, Clone Wars is good. All right, number 10. I have Supergirl, and you just watched this as well.
Yeah,
um, and you liked it.
yeah. I thought it was quite good.
Yeah, I said in my review, I just didn't care for the character, Supergirl. She was drunk. She was yell. She was flipping people off. She was, I don't know, just not a enjoyable human or enjoyable character for me. It's just she didn't even really want to help the main character until her dog got hit with the poison dart, and then she kind of helped the main, or not the main character, but the girl that's trying to get revenge. Anyways, and I don't know. I just she never really did anything for me, I guess, or it never really got anywhere. I know Pete from Platino Guy, he just put a review that was pretty bad too. So I'm like, okay, I'm not alone on this. I think he said the same thing, that he didn't like the main character. And I think that's the biggest problem with the movie, because I like Superman. I thought Superman was a good movie,
Yeah, I thought
and I think
Jason
it's
Momoa was really
because
great.
yeah, that was in my top 10 favorite movies of last year was Superman. And I when if I can compare the two, since this is like the second movie in the basically in the new DC movie series, whatever. Superman, first off, Superman's a great character. He's very likable, easy to root for.
Hmm.
The movie also was very funny. I laughed a lot in Superman. Supergirl, I didn't laugh at all. I don't think it just didn't have the same comedic bits that would help it, anyways. And then the action, I think what I said in my review, the last action sequence was good. That was the best part of the movie. And I said I think Lobo might have been the best part of the movie. Whenever Jason Momoa
Yeah,
showed
I
up,
quite like Lobo.
because it felt like the character that Jason Momoa was made for more than even Aquaman. Uh, it just felt like he was just being himself, like in any movie, and it worked really well. This kind of tough biker guy. So I thought that was good. Uh, yeah, I like the fact that she finally put the Supergirl outfit on, but that was until the end. And she had the big action sequences. That was the most entertaining part of the movie. But most of the movie, again, I felt like there's this whole section where she tells her backstory, and I thought it was so boring. It just stopped the movie. It was like, oh, now we got to stop. What's going on? It's just these two girls talking in this room, and it's like, oh my gosh, like move on with the plot, please. That's that to me. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on with DC. Superman was good. I don't know about this. We're getting a Clayface movie or something coming up,
Yeah,
I
I've got
think.
an interest in Clayface.
And I don't know. It's a different type of movie, I think. And then I think they're going to work on a second Superman movie, The Man of Tomorrow.
Oh,
Um, but they need to, I think they need to work on a Batman movie, hopefully at some point. Um, I don't know. I know they also coming out the Lantern TV show as well.
oh, cool.
Let's see. I saw 2003 and 2008 Clone Wars. Yeah.
Do you know there's another series of X-Men '97?
Yes, did that come out?
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that was coming out. Yeah, second season.
I'll probably wait until all the episodes are out.
I was just doing one episode at a time.
I binge watch it probably. That's probably how I'll do it.
Yeah, it's probably better that way. Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I wait a little bit before I start watching them.
So,
Um,
what number was Supergirl then?
that was number 10.
Number 10.
Number 9 might be surprising. I didn't care for this movie either, and this is the biggest disappointment of the year for me, and that is Toy Story 5 at number 9. Uh, I thought this was the worst Toy Story, and I love the first four. The first four I absolutely love. They're all great. They're just fantastic series. This one, I don't know, just was not nearly as good for me. And I think it was just the storyline I didn't care for as much. The whole Jessie going out on her own, she gets lost and then she has to try to find her way back. And it seems like it was fixated on this whole Jessie, and she met these new toys, but I didn't really care for the new toys that were brought in. Uh, that stuff. Like to me, the best stuff is Woody and Buzz, which to me, those are the two best characters in the franchise for me. So I'm like, I want, and Jesse's not bad. I like Jesse, but to me, I need more Buzz and Woody. Their you know their banter back and forth. I guess they're somewhat infighting, somewhat friendship that they have. uh, More than Jesse, I like their storyline more than what Jesse's storyline is, and we hardly get any Ham, Rex, Slinky Dog, or Mr. Potato Head or Forky. They disappear in the movie, and I'm like, that's the best part of the movies is when all of them are together working on an adventure, or whatever. Um, like even you look back at the first and second movies, let's say, it's almost like this buddy comedy. The first one's more like a buddy comedy with Woody and Buzz not getting along, and then they become friends at the end. In the second movie, it's Woody gets kidnapped basically, and then the rest have to go rescue him, and they all get together and they go on this kind of adventure, and those really work very well. And the third one is kind of they're all in this preschool thing together, and they're having problems, and they're trying to fight their way out or try to you know uh, fight lots of hug a bear or whatever. Uh, I don't know. They all work except for, and the other thing I don't like that I think doesn't work is they are fixated too much on Bonnie as a main character, and I don't like Bonnie. I just sees this very shy, very moody girl. I don't care for those type of characters. Um, Andy, I feel like was in and out of the story, but they didn't fixate too much on Andy as a main character. And Andy was like okay. He had friends. They played. He had a mom and a sister that he talked to a lot.
Mm-hmm.
This girl, she's just so isolated. She doesn't have friends. She has her parents, but she has no siblings, and she's just this painfully quiet, shy girl who's always sad. And it's like I don't care for Bonnie. And I don't know. To me, it just wasn't as funny as the other four. I didn't laugh as much. I wasn't as intrigued by the story, and they didn't do well by all the characters. That was my feeling.
Yeah, it was probably my least favorite Toy Story as well. But I still thought it was great though.
But you liked it, yeah? Okay.
I actually thought it was the funniest of the Toy Story films.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
Let's see. Some days you just can't get a pop. One of the great lines was the old Batman movie from the '60s. Some days you
it,
just can't get rid of a bomb. That and the shark repellent scene.
yeah.
All right, number 8. I have the Furious.
But before you talk about it, is
Okay.
it is it right if I get going now?
Yeah.
So I'll probably watch the rest of it in my own time. Because I want to know what your number one is.
Okay. You'll like it. You'll like my number one.
Yeah. So is it alright if I get going then?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
So hope you have a great rest of your day, Jason.
Thank you.
Happy birthday once
Thank you.
again.
Oh, I just want to mention before you go,
Yeah.
I am going to this country this year.
Yeah, you are. In
In
October.
October, I'm going to this small island country.
A place called England. Yeah.
I got my Drixties DVD here. Yeah, so I should have said this first, but yeah, big thing. I'm planning on seeing Adam in October.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll see your room there in live
Yeah.
person.
I was thinking about doing a live stream together at my house.
Yeah, that'd be awesome if we can do that.
But you want to meet Mike before you meet me.
I'm gonna see Mike from Did You See That and hang out with him for a little bit, and then yeah, hang out with Adam. We're gonna go to Liverpool.
The home of the Beatles.
Yeah, see all the Beatles stuff. So yeah, real excited about it. Coming up 3 months or so.
Yeah,
So
it'll go quite quick. it's gone quick so far.
Yeah, I keep it keeps feels like it's a long ways off, but it's getting closer.
Yeah, it's getting closer. Look,
But yeah,
have a great rest of your day, Jason.
thank you.
Yeah, look forward to meeting up in October.
Yeah.
I look forward to our next collaboration together. Yeah, ciao.
All right, ciao. Let's see. I had no interest once Andy left for college. Yeah, what he said, so long, partner. Booze about what kid gets new favorite toy. Booze 2 and 3 are about what a kid grows up. Yeah. Yeah, I see. I like the fourth one a lot, and a lot of people don't like the fourth one because they felt like the series should have ended at the third one, which I get. There's a good ending in the third one where Andy passes off his toys to Bonnie, and that seemed like a good ending to the. It's the ending to the Andy storyline basically, where Andy's a kid at the beginning of one. Then by the third one, he's going off to college, so he's kind of grown up somewhat. It's a good trilogy in that way. I really like the fourth one though. I think the fourth one's really funny and actually has some very good moments. And in fact, the ending is quite emotional when he says goodbye to Buzz. That's to me a great ending of the series. I don't think they need to do a fifth one, but I was like, if the fifth one's good, I'm all for it. Like so far they've been good, so I'm like, if they're good, keep making them. But we seen for me the fifth one wasn't good, so now I'm like, please let's stop making these Toy Story movies because it's hard to make a good movie every time. It just gets harder, I think, and after a while, it's just almost impossible to keep making good movies in a series, no matter what series you're talking about. Even John Wick, I loved John Wick 1 through 3. And then the fourth one I didn't like. It's just like there's just a point where you can't make any more good movies out of that series. You need to move on. But anyways, all right, number 8 on my list is The Furious, as I was saying, and Ryan Swells mentioned this in the comments, and I know he's talked about it. He's like me; he's a big fan of these kind of martial arts action movies, and I went and saw it in the theater, and surprisingly was disappointed with it. I wasn't into this one as much, and it seems like the kind of movie that I should have loved. It's the kind of movie that probably should be number one on my list, and it's like, how do I explain why I didn't like it? And it's just the whole I love martial arts movies. I watch them all the time. And there's something about the flow of an action sequence that works so well for me. And I said in my review, to me, a martial arts scene is like a dance. It's smooth, it flows, there's punches, there's kicks, there's blocks, there's dodges, there's all kinds of stuff going on, and it all just works so perfectly together like a dance. And that's what I love about martial arts. I just love the how did they choreograph this to work so well and you know and it looks so real. I don't know. I just love the art of a martial arts action sequence. And in this one, I felt like again, it's just me because I think everybody else loves it. I might be the only one who doesn't care for the movie. Action sequences were just very clunky, very not smooth, didn't flow together. There wasn't a lot of good like punch, block, kick, dodge, counter punch, that kind of stuff. It was just a lot of, tackling and pushing and, hitting you over the head with an object. It just wasn't the technique just wasn't there for me. It was just chaos. And I don't know. It didn't work for me as for a martial arts action movie to work. I just have to really love the action sequences and just be wowed by it and just go, wow, that was a great sequence. Between whatever. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. And the story had two characters. There's like one character who's a father whose daughter gets kidnapped, and I said it's like Taken except for kung fu, or it's like a kung fu take on Taken or something, or it's like yeah. So it's like I'm all for that. I love Taken. So it's like yeah, dad's daughter gets taken, and so now he's gonna I said he's gonna f everybody up. And that's what I love. I love the idea is he just doesn't care whoever's in his way. He's gonna brutalize, and I love that because yeah, he's an angry father. He should be just terrorizing everybody. No mercy. I love characters like that. I love the no mercy idea. Like, uh, anyways, that works for me. And then they have this other character who's like a journalist, or he's married to a journalist, who then gets kidnapped, and I guess she's dead because we don't know what happened to her. So I thought maybe she was still alive, but we never see her. So I'm like, okay, maybe she did get killed. Um, so and he's also kung fu, but his kung fu is not that great, not as good as the father. I think it had better overall action. And the other guy, again, just he mostly just hit people. He found an object and hit people with it. It felt like, and it just felt like we didn't need two characters and two storylines. One guy finding his daughter, the other guy's looking for his wife. It's like I could have just took out the guy looking for his wife and just concentrate on the guy looking for his daughter. That's the most interesting storyline in the movie, and that would have been much better just to follow him. Anyway, that's my opinion. Again, there's lots of action. It's very bloody. Some of it was, and it's the other part I didn't like it. It was very unrealistic, which I know it's a movie. It's probably normally unrealistic movies, but it kind of took me out a little bit. Like there's this one guy that they have this big fight scene with, and he's this big strong guy, and they hit him with a sledgehammer, and the guy hits him on top of the head with a sledgehammer. I mean, that would kill anybody. But the guy just has like a bump on his head and he keeps going. And then I think he gets stabbed a couple of times or something, and he falls off a high ledge. And you're left to think, oh, this guy's definitely dead. No one survives everything that's happened to him. No, he's still alive, and he comes back and has another fight scene at the end, which I thought was weird. I was like, what? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Anyways, so Furious, unfortunately, was a little disappointed with. Number seven, I have Masters of the Universe. And as I said in my review, I don't know who was asking for this movie or who wanted this movie. I don't know if anybody cares about the He-Man character or the series or the IP to make a movie like, and it did. I think it bombed, didn't make really any money, and it's just one of those things where there's no there's not an audience really that wants this movie, so nobody went and saw it. Uh, as a movie, I think again it's number seven. It's actually towards the upper half of my list because it did have fun moments in it, and the action sequence actually quite good. I thought they actually did a good job with the action, and I actually liked the design of the villain aliens. I thought were really designed well. I thought actually the special effects did work, and the characters were likable. I liked the main characters and all this. So there's a lot of stuff that was good in there. The thing that made me not quite recommend it is they tried too hard to be funny. It felt like every scene was like just trying to be. They threw a joke in all the time, and it was just too much. And as I said, it felt like they were trying to do Guardians of the Galaxy, and then somebody else said it's trying to be Thor, like Love and Thunder, and I was like, yeah, that's a pretty good comparison. Like either Guardians of the Galaxy or like Thor: Love and Thunder. It's trying to be a movie that's action but yet very funny, and sometimes that works because it does work with Guardians of the Galaxy. It does work with Thor Ragnarok. It can be very funny and have good action. It's comparable to that, except for the jokes didn't land. There were so many jokes that were thrown at you, and some of them I might have laughed at, but most of them just like I was like, that was a cringy joke that didn't work. And you kind of come apparent after a while, you're just like, wow, they're just trying too hard to be funny. They should have held back because then it makes the character not that serious of a character. And he's trying to avenge his like family. His family gets killed, I think, and his people are kidnapped and imprisoned. It's actually a very serious subject matter in a sense, traumatic and all this. And the character was so goofy. I felt like the Adam character, he was real goofy, and I was like, so when they try to get more serious at the end, when he's trying to fight Skeletor and all this stuff, I just felt like I just couldn't get into the character because I was like, he's just a goofball. Like if they made him a little more serious, a little more like, hey, I need to avenge my family or something like that. Maybe I could have, been on board a little more with the main character storyline. But I was just like, who cares? It's just a goofy comedy kind of thing, and I couldn't take it seriously. I don't know. So I think that hurt the movie overall. Again, it wasn't terrible. It just wasn't quite there for me to recommend. Let's see. Toy Story 5 and soon, eventually, yeah, Shrek. We're gonna get another Shrek movie. follow up. So I will strike ended with Forever. It's my favorite in that franchise. Jeffrey Katzenberg made the decision for DreamWorks. Oh, Forever is your favorite in the franchise? Okay. Yeah, I'm curious about another Shrek movie, I guess. I think the first two movies are so good. Three and four are okay. Not as good as the first two. First two are definitely the best of the Shrek series. And yeah, we'll see what happens with Shrek. And I think they're working on another Austin Powers movie as well. It's weird. Mike Myers, sorry, not Michael Myers, Mike Myers. It's funny. He had this great period in the '90s where he was in early 2000s where he was hitting on these big franchises with the Austin Powers series and the Shrek series were just huge. And then he kind of disappeared. And then he came back to do The Love Guru, and that bombed. That was a horrible movie. It bombed big time. And then he disappeared again because that bombed. And then he came back with a TV show on Netflix, which I can't remember the name of it. It was terrible. And that was a terrible show. And then he disappeared again. And so now we might get him back for Shrek and Austin Powers. So it's kind of interesting how he just keeps coming and going. And it's like, does he still have it though? I don't know if he was so funny in the '90s, and then he just hasn't risen back to that. Let's see, my dad and I bonded over the He-Man cartoon. Okay, I wish I knew the movie existed. I used to watch He-Man as a kid, but that was such a long time ago. I don't remember much about it, except that I just remember I've got the power, and then he turns into He-Man, and that's all I can remember about it. I don't remember all the side characters at all. um, is the movie still in cinema? It might be. I don't know. That's a good question. It's been out for a little while now. There's also a Masters of the Universe that was done back in the '80s with Dolph Lundgren, which uh, I actually think is not too bad. As a kid, I kind of liked it. So I have some nostalgia for the old Dolph Lundgren one. All right, number six, I have Michael, and this might surprise people because people really liked Michael. I think it did pretty well in the box office, and people were really raving over. It's one of the best biopics and all this. And again, it wasn't terrible. I actually, again, have it towards the top of my list, which when I first reviewed it, I thought, oh, this wasn't very good. But then as I'm watching other movies, I'm going, Michael is actually a lot better than most of the movies I've seen this year. Um, and I don't know, it wasn't one of my favorite biopics I've seen. A Complete Unknown's been my favorite biopic. I love A Complete Unknown about Bob Dylan. And this about Michael Jackson, I just don't think Michael Jackson is that interesting of a person to cover in the sense because he's very kind of immature, and maybe he was that way in real life. But the way he was portrayed in the movie, I was just like, I didn't. It was weird that he was just one thing. He was just perfect, which kind of bothered me because it's like most biopics, like the main character has a downfall, like they're into drugs. Usually they have a drug addiction or something like that, or whatever, or they're a jerk, or they're falling out with a loved one, stuff, their brother dies when they're young and they never lived up, to their brother dying. They've always been a bother to, I don't know. Usually though it's drugs and getting over drugs or something like that. Almost every musician gets through that. Um, but Michael, he never had a drug problem. He doesn't even have any girlfriends in the movie. It's like he has no romantic interest, which is weird because it's like most movies you have a romantic interest, but it's like he never has like a girl interest in the movie. I don't know, and everything he does is great. It's like even when he's a kid, they're like, "Oh, he's great. He has perfect pitch, and he has this charisma and all this stuff." And then when he gets to the older Michael Jackson, and he's doing Off the Wall and then Thriller, of course, he becomes huge in the '80s, late '70s into the '80s, whatever. And all of it's like, oh my gosh, he is so nice. He's always nice to people. He's such a good dancer. Oh, he revolutionized, music videos, all these things. It's just like he's just so perfect. And for me, it's like, okay, that's not interesting as a character. I need a character that has problems, that has a downfall, and then rises up, and maybe becomes a better person or does something great, whatever. But the whole movie is like he's just great all the time. So I don't know. To me, that wasn't as interesting. And him as a character is just he's just a weird character. I say weird character. He's a person, but Michael Jackson, he's always been kind of a weird individual, and maybe because he just never grew up, he had problems as a child. He had, I mean, obviously, I say that he did have problems. He had an overbearing dad who was abusive. That was, I know that was kind of the main thing of the movie is he was trying to get away from his dad, and that was kind of the triumph of the triumphant climax of the movie is that him getting away from his abusive, overbearing dad and all that. So I can say that's the main issue of the movie. And maybe because of all that, I don't know, he just never turned to a normal human being or something. But yeah, so but what I do like about the movie is the whole Thriller part was really good. When they were because Thriller's a great album. I agree on that. And I like a lot of the music. And anytime they're doing the music from Thriller, I thought was great. In the movie, I think that's when the movie picks up when he starts, doing the Thriller stuff. Because I didn't think the actor was that good. Everybody's talking about how great uh, the actor Michael Jackson's nephew, I forget Jafar Jackson, I think. I don't know. He's not an actor. This is his first acting movie. So to me, I don't know. I didn't think he was that good. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, but it wasn't until we got to Thriller that I finally was like, okay, now the movie picked up. I thought his performance got better, and he did a great job with the dancing. I'll say that. Like he was spot on with the Michael Jackson dance moves, which I thought was, which was really I think would be hard to do. But yeah, so then when they start doing all that Thriller stuff, and you hear like Billie Jean, Human Nature, uh, Beat It, Thriller. When you start getting those songs, like, all right, these are some really good stuff. So I did like that part of the movie, and when they're doing like the rehash of like the Thriller video and all that, and his moonwalk, and so that stuff was good in the movie. But as a whole movie, I don't know. I'm just not into the Michael Jackson story as much. I guess is my thing. Okay, so you saw the older. Okay, yeah, like again, the older film maybe not good, but I kind of enjoyed it. Yeah, Blind Side was good. I like the Blind Side. Though it's weird what's happened afterwards on that movie. Um, all right, number five, I have Project Hail Mary, and someone mentioned Project Hail Mary, so here it is, Project Hail Mary. It makes it number five. I just finished it yesterday, last night, before I went to bed. I finally finished that. It's funny when I was first watching that movie, I was really kind of bored with it. I wasn't really into it because it begins with just Ryan Gosling alone on a spaceship, and that's my like biggest nightmare in a space movie because I hated Interstellar. I thought that movie was so boring. And then there was a movie called Moon with Sam Rockwell, which everybody loved. I didn't care for because again, it's him alone on a moon or on a space station. Martian, I did like though. So the Martian, they able to crack the code on how to make a space movie not boring. So I don't know. I was a little like not interested in this movie that much, but I know everybody was really interested in it, and it got good reviews. I think it did well in the box office. Well, anyway, so I'm talking about the movie. Yeah, at first I was like not into it, and then the moment where he meets this rock alien, who he calls Rocky, and once they're able to communicate with each other, then the movie gets so much better. And I love the Rocky character. And that's maybe the biggest thing about this movie is they made this rock alien who can't speak English, who has to speak through a computer basically. And they made me feel for this rock alien. And I was at towards the end, there's a scene where you're afraid the rock alien's gonna die, and you're really sad about it. And you're like, no, no, Rocky, you can't die. And I was like, wow, this movie made me care about a rock alien. I thought so. That was a success for the movie that they made me care about this rock alien so much. But that was the best part of the movie, and their friendship is so good in the movie. And I remember hearing people talk about it, and I was like, "What? How do you become friends with a rock monster that can't speak English?" And then you watch the movie and you go, "Yeah, I love Rocky, the rock alien." And Ron Gosling's friendship is so good, and they're back and forth. It's sweet, it's funny, all those things. That part of the movie is good. And then as the movie goes on, you see back flashes of how he got there and what's going on, what the whole plot is of the movie. So it kind of at first you're like, what is going on? It starts making sense as the movie goes on. You're kind of getting a picture of what why he's up there in this by himself, kind of in this space station, and he doesn't even know why he's there at first, or he forgets, and all this, and then you get this whole story kind of that part I didn't care too much about. To be honest, the most of the movie I didn't care about, except for the friendship between Ryan Gosling's character Grace and Rocky, Rock Alien. Uh, and even the ending was kind of nice and sweet, and I kind of liked it. What happened at the end? But the movie is 2.5 hours long. It is so long. It does drag quite a bit during the movie. It was hard to get through because of how long it was. So it's like I did enjoy quite a bit of the movie, bits and parts of it I thought were good stuff. There's some, good writing there. Um, as far as a movie entertainment, I would say it wasn't one of the more entertainment movies I've seen. Like I was a little bored at times. I wasn't totally entertained by everything that went on, but I do like some of the moments in the movie that kind of made it worthwhile. So I'm kind of barely giving it a recommend. I'm giving it 3 out of 5 stars. I'll give it a slight recommend, and maybe I need to watch it again. And now that I kind of know what's going on, see if it makes a difference. But again, it's so long. I don't know if I want to go back and watch it again. So it's like I didn't love it like some people, but I kind of get why people like it. There's some really good moments in it. So that's number five. Number four, I have Super Mario Galaxy, the sequel to the Super Mario movie, which I really enjoyed. This one, not nearly as good as the first movie, I think. I don't think it was nearly as funny or interesting as a plot. But it's still, again, it's one of those things where it's not as written as Project Hail Mary. It's probably a better written movie and bigger stakes, definitely bigger stakes, maybe more climatic, all these things. But if I have to say which movie I'd watch again, I'd probably watch Super Mario Galaxy over Project Hail Mary, just because it was short, for one thing. It wasn't very long, and it was just very fun. I had fun with it. It was entertaining, very good visuals. I would say the story wasn't super great. Like it wasn't the strongest story. I think the first story was better than Super Mario, but I do like the characters overall. And I'm a big Mario fan, so I just love the nostalgia of Mario. Anyways, that helps because I grew up in the '90s with Nintendo and Super Nintendo and all that. Um, I would say is definitely the best character. I think Jack Black does a great job here as the first movie. That's definitely the best part of the movie is somehow making the bad guy somewhat likable and enjoyable and funny as Bowser. But I think what makes this movie, again, I give it 3 out of 5 stars, so it's like a slight recommend. It's not a strong recommend. I think it should have been funnier. There's a lot of jokes that didn't land for me in the movie that it seemed too childish. I remember that's the way I kind of felt when some of the jokes I felt like, okay, this might be funny to a kid, but to a grown adult, it's just like cringe sometimes. So I think the humor didn't work as well as I would have liked it to be. If it would have been funnier, I think it would have been a stronger movie. But the action sequences, I think, is really what makes the movie fun and enjoyable and something I'd go back to. There's several sequences of action where they're fighting, and I thought it was really well done. I mean, and there was this one scene where they're like flying through the galaxy. That was, and I think there might have been some slow motion moments. That was really good. But the climatic, there's the one scene where it looks like he's in a Mario video game, kind of a side scroller Mario video game. That was a lot of fun. And then the last battle sequence between Mario and I think Yoshi and Luigi, I think, or something. They had to fight Bowser and Bowser Jr. I thought that was a really fun scene overall. So I think they did a lot of good stuff there that was very fun and entertaining. And overall, I had enough enjoyment to give it a recommend. See, the Project Hail Mary movie made me use the hard judge on my shoulder to say goodbye. the the Rock says goodbye by doing this on his arm. That was great. Um, uh, there's a Beatles song, Two of Us. Oh, that was so good when they played Two of Us. Because most of the movie is Ron Gosling, this rock alien. Yeah, they played Two of Us. That was so great. It's such a great song, and it worked so well in the movie. I agree. Have you played Super Mario Galaxy video game? I've played some of it. I have never played all the way through Super Mario Galaxy. After watching the movie, makes me want to buy a Switch and maybe buy the game and play it. So I'm a big fan of Super Mario World on Super Nintendo. Mario 64 is one of the best games I've ever played. Mario Sunshine, I think, is a great game off of GameCube. But it's funny, I had a Nintendo Wii, but I don't know if I had any Mario games on that. Again, I haven't played the ones on the Switch, like Mario Odyssey. I've heard is really good, and then yeah, Super Mario Galaxy. I think that was on Nintendo Switch or on Nintendo Wii. And I think I maybe played some of it, and it was very fun. So I'm sure I would love the video games. I know there's two of them. I do love a lot of the Mario video games. It's one of my favorite franchises in video games. That and Zelda. I'm looking forward to a Zelda movie as well. Number three on my list, Mortal Kombat 2. This was my number one for a while, but two movies kind of beat it. Just yesterday, I saw two movies that I liked a little bit more. I went and saw this in the movie theater, Mortal Kombat 2. And I'm a big fan again. We're talking about video games. Again, another video game movie. I grew up on Super Nintendo. I had Mortal Kombat 2 on Super Nintendo when they first came out. And I played in the arcade games and everything. And so I'm a big fan of the video game series when I was a kid. I don't care for it as much now, but they were huge in fighting games. I mean, it was kind of revolutionary. Just the graphics, the finish him. It was so fun just killing people in horrific ways. It was just fun as a kid. um, so I've always wanted to see a good Mortal Kombat movie. I did see the first Mortal Kombat back in the 90s in the movie theater, and I think it's okay. I think the graphics are terrible. That's the worst thing about it. But I think the characters actually done very well to the Mortal Kombat game, and the story and everything is maybe the best story we've gotten so far. And again, it's so hard to make a good story out of a video game that's just about fighting and killing each other. And so you have to work kind of hard to come up with this. Same thing about Mario. I didn't say this, but Mario is not really a story video game. It's just a fun platform playing game. It's more about the game, gameplay than the story. And so to make a good movie out of a Mario game, I think is hard. So you really have to try hard to come up with an interesting enough story. And so I think they've done a good enough job out of something that's not as easy. Like Zelda is a story video game. I'm kind of curious where they go with that because there's so many great Zelda games that have great stories to them. But Mortal Kombat doesn't really have a story to it necessarily. So you really have to go out of the box to try to come up with a story. So I think the story they've come up with, anyways, for that, of course, the second Mortal Kombat was horrible in the 90s, whatever. And then they rebooted the series, of course, and did this new Mortal Kombat. And I thought the first one was a little disappointing. I went back and watched the first one again. That came out, the first one in this series, and it's just not very good. The second time watching it, the main character Cole is just, he's not even in the video games, and he's just kind of a boring character, and didn't care about his storyline too much. There's some good fight scenes in there, especially the Sub-Zero Scorpion fight scene is great in the movie. Of course, first movie they didn't even, and what hurts that first movie is it's not even about the tournament, which is that's the main thing about the video game is you're in a tournament, fighting tournament thing. It's all this pre-tournament stuff. I don't know, it didn't work because of that, I think. So going back, yeah, the first one just didn't work. Mortal Kombat 2, though, I think it's probably it's for me, it's the best of the series so far. Of all the Mortal Kombat movies that they made, this is the best one. A lot of this because it looks good. I think it's done very well. The fight scenes I think are really good. Like I really, that's what you really need in these movies, and I think there's some good stuff here. Uh, Add on to that, I think Shao Kahn is such a good villain. Whoever the actor they picked was perfect. He looked perfect in the role. The costuming was great, but he was this big, strong guy with a hammer. So I love the use of the hammer in the fight scenes. I thought was so cool. And I even like the Katana storyline. There's a good, actually, little Katana storyline of her trying to get revenge against Shao Kahn for killing her family, or killing her dad at the beginning of the movie. So I love how they established that in the beginning of the movie with the Shao Kahn killing her dad in the beginning. and then her finally fighting him at the very end, like the very last fight scene is Katana versus Shao Kahn, and she's finally getting her revenge. I thought that was really good, and the death scene was really good. The way she kills him, yeah, great. And so I like that. It was a good storyline for that character. It had a full circle storyline to it. I thought it worked really well. And that was the better storyline. Then you had the Johnny Cage storyline, which I thought was a little weak. And Carl Urban, to be honest, was not a good Johnny Cage. He didn't really fit the Johnny Cage character to me because he was older. And Johnny Cage was the whole character in this video game. It feels like he's in the peak of his being a martial arts actor and all this. They kind of took it as they took an older person like Carl Urban and made him this like washed up actor. And Carl Urban's not a martial artist, so I didn't think he did okay because he had enough you know stunt doubles, I guess, to do his fighting part and make it look good. But I'd rather put a person in there that knows how to fight rather than just an actor who has stunt doubles. But anyways, but I do think Johnny Cage character was maybe the funniest part of the movie. So I did like Carl Urban is a good actor, I think, and he did well. I think he's the best actor in the movie. And so he was fun. The character was fun, yet at the same time, I didn't think it fit Johnny Cage very well. So that was kind of weak, some of that stuff for me. But like I said, and what they did with Cole, I think was kind of stupid. And like, I don't know, to get into what happened there with Cole. It was like the first movie was so pointless. What happens to Cole in this movie? But I do, and the Kung Lao Liu Kang fight scene, best fight scene in the movie, the best fight scene in the franchise. That was such a good fight scene. I really enjoyed that. But I even like the Cole Shao Kahn fight scene. I thought was kind of cool little fight scene. I thought the first fight scene was actually really good between Shao Kahn and Katana's father. Like I said, the last fight scene was really good. I even like the Jax fight scene with the girl with the green outfit and the spear. I think Jade. I think yeah, Jade. The Jax. I thought that was actually a good fight scene. So I commend them on doing the right thing and making a more combat movie that's about the tournament and have high stakes. Because if they lose and Shao Kahn like takes over the world or something. And great villain and fight scenes work. And that's what you need in a good more combat movie. Again, story wise, I think it was a little weak in some parts, but as an action movie, it was a lot of fun. So that's why it's at number 3 on my list, and one I'd like to watch again when it comes on Blu-ray. Anyways, so that movie I can definitely recommend to everybody. And I'm interested in Street Fighter. I'm kind of curious. That movie looks very silly, so we'll see what goes on there. Let's see. Blonde hair or pink hair Link from Legend of Zelda. I have a Link to the Past on cartridge to the Super Nintendo. So I picked pink hair Link. Okay. I don't know about pink hair. I guess I never thought of the hair color. But yeah. Number 2, this movie I just watched yesterday. I finished it yesterday, and it came to number 2 on my list, and that is Normal. This is Bob Odenkirk playing a small town sheriff, and he has this whole storyline. Is he's a sheriff who travels around and like takes he he's kind of a substitute sheriff. I don't know if that's a real thing. I thought that was kind of a weird thing. But he goes into towns that need a sheriff, I guess, until they hire one or something like that. So he's like interim sheriff. So he goes into places and gets hired for like a month or something like that, and then leaves, I guess, or whatever. How long he's there until they hire a new sheriff or something like that. And I guess they need someone to keep the law in the town or something. So he's in this town called Normal, is the name of the town in Minnesota, I think, Normal, Minnesota. So it's really cold, and he takes these jobs in these small towns because nothing happens, and so he kind of takes these jobs where he doesn't have to do anything. It's just a simple job, and he just moves on to another one. And so I like the premise overall because then you find out Normal is not a normal, quote unquote normal town. It's actually ran by the Yakuza in Japan, the very fearful gang, and everybody's in on it, and the sheriff doesn't know this. And but I like the way I like Bob Odenkirk, and he did a movie similar last year called Nobody 2, And I really like Nobody too. That was in my top five favorite movies of last year. I love action comedies, and I think surprisingly, Odenkirk has done very well in this category. Uh, because Normal is kind of like a similar to Nobody to Nobody, kind of thing. So surprisingly, Odenkirk doing really good. I'm kind of enjoying Odenkirk in these kind of roles because he's not an action kind of character, yet, but he has the comic. He can do the comedy really well. Even though he's just kind of a straight character, he does really well in that, and he's very likable in these movies, I think. And the characters are really good. I really like the characters; they're very heroic. Um, and there's kind of normal looking guy. He's just a normal looking guy who gets caught in a situation where he has to, kill people and fight his way out. And I kind of like all that. And I even like this movie because they kind of throw hints through the beginning of the movie that something's not quite right in this town of Normal. And you just kind of see it here and there. There's little clues here and there that you're kind of like, okay, what's really going on in this town? Something's not right. And there's a whole thing where the last sheriff was found dead and by unusual circumstances. And so then there's this whole thing of was he murdered and who murdered him and all this, and so there's kind of that going on, and everybody acts like he just died of natural causes, but I don't know. So I do like how it sets up all that, and then we get the scene at a bank where he gets too close to the truth of what's going on in the town, and then everybody in the town is after him, trying to kill him because they're all in on this whole yakuza thing, I guess, controlling this town, and it's kind of this big secret they don't want anybody to know about. So then now him and that two other people that are in town that aren't part of it, they are now kind of stuck trying to survive all these town people trying to kill him. So it's a great action premise. I think the action scenes are really good and fun and very bloody, but very fun in a way. I actually quite enjoy them. And Odenkirk's really good in the lead here. And yeah, it's just another fun action movie, which I really enjoy. Nothing too deep here on this movie. Uh, but I don't know. It's just my kind of movie. Like I said, I like Nobody 2, and I like this. I like these kind of movies. Um, the big action sequence in the end is crazy, and even the fact that it happens is kind of comes out of nowhere. It's very strange how the action sequence starts, but it's really good. They have this whole shootout scene in the restaurant with all the QZ and the town's members, and it's chaos. And so it actually ends on a kind of fun, crazy note, I guess, in a sense. Yeah, so yeah, it's another movie where it was just a lot of fun, and it's so underrated. Nobody really talking about this movie, and I haven't heard a lot of great reviews on Normal. I think people thought it was just either all right or didn't care for it. I don't know. I really liked it. I thought it was a really fun movie. Anyway, so it's already right now halfway through the year. It's my second favorite movie. Let's see. My great aunt has the arcade game. Oh, in Connecticut. Yeah, that was a classic. Everybody, we played Mortal Kombat 2 and Street Fighter 2 were like the classic arcade games when I was a kid. And I loved going to the arcade. All right. My number one favorite movie so far this year, I just watched last night on Amazon Prime, and that is The Sheep Detectives. Yeah, this was one I was kind of curious about because when I heard about it, it's such a silly premise based on a book, I guess, where you're following these sheep in England, I guess, and their owner is Hugh Jackman, and he reads to the sheep murder mystery novels, and the sheep in this world, this fantasy kind of world, I guess, the sheep can understand English, and so they actually listen to these stories, these murder mystery stories, and they're trying to figure out who's the killer in these stories, and they can talk to each other, of course, but the humans can't understand the sheep, but the sheep can understand the humans, so it's that whole fantasy kind of storyline. It's on paper it's like very silly premise, and like obviously it's very, I would say, family comedy mystery thriller, I don't know, kind of movie. It's kind of interesting. So I think it's a good family movie, though. I think it's one I would recommend, like, you can watch with kids and stuff like that. I think it's maybe PG or something. I might be wrong about that, but it feels like it's for a family. um Anyways, and so this is not spoiling the movie too much because this is kind of the basis of the movie, is that the Hugh Jackman character is found dead, and they think it's just natural causes, but then they find out that he was poisoned, and so they're like, who poisoned him? Someone murdered him. And so it becomes this murder mystery of this small town in England. And the sheep, knowing murder mysteries, like two of them, two or three of them, kind of start following this. Of course, they want to find out who murdered their owner because they loved their owner, Hugh Jackman. And so they're kind of following along this, what's going on there, and they're figuring out the clues better than the humans are, of course. And they're trying to help the one police officer in town, who's kind of a young bubbling idiot. They're trying to help him get the clues and try to figure out who the murderer is. And so yeah, it goes that way. It's it's a nice, fun, sweet movie. But then towards middle to end of towards the last half of the movie actually gets very deep in some spots, which I was not expecting. And it's hard to talk about too much, but yeah, there's even one really sad moment where sheep. I won't say what exactly, but a sheep does die in the movie, and it's so sad. I was like, wow, I didn't. Again, you made me feel for talking sheep. So to me, that was a good job for the movie. That made me really get sad over the death of the sheep. And yeah, so that moment, and then yeah, it's some very deep moments in the movie where I'm like, wow, this really makes you think. It seems like a silly family comedy, but no, actually has some really great dramatic moments and emotional moments in it. And that's what really makes me put it at number one on my list. Is the more I think about the movie, the more I just love the story, how it unfolds, and the characters and the character development, I guess, of the sheep even. And yeah, it's hard to go into without spoilers, but yeah, some really good moments in there that even as an adult you think, wow, that was some deep thinking there that I was not expecting to think that much, in this kind of movie. Uh, it's a comedy. It's not overly funny. It's funny at parts, but it's overly enjoyable. I think the characters are enjoyable. Murder mystery part does get good towards the end, where you start to get to more clues, and of course the person everybody thinks it is isn't the real person, and then when you find out who the real person is, it's actually a pretty good reveal and pretty good twist in the movie, which I wasn't seeing coming. And I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting how they did that, and the way the sheep helped the detective figure it out is also very interesting as well. And then the ending is so good. It's so sweet. I mean, it's just one of those where you go, oh, it's just so heartwarming. They go, oh wow, what a great ending that makes me feel good about life. I don't get enough of those movies, so I think that's why I put number one. Where at the end, I just really felt great at the end of this movie. I really like how they ended it, and with the sheep, the relationships, and everything. And yeah, it's just a wonderful moment at the end, I guess. And so I highly recommend The Sheep Detectives on Amazon Prime. Definitely watch this movie. Anyways, it's my favorite movie of the year so far. So those are 16 movies. I did a little bit of a review there for those. Um, Hope you enjoyed that. If you want me to do a quick countdown here, I'll do a quick one here. There's 16 movies I saw this year. 16, Disclosure Day. 15, Hoppers. 14, Backrooms. 13, The Mandalorian and Grogu. 12, Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Number 11, They Will Kill You. Number 10, Supergirl. Number 9, Toy Story 5. Number 8, The Furious. Number 7, Masters of the Universe. Number 6, Michael. Number 5, Project Hail Mary. Number 4, Super Mario Galaxy. Number 3, Mortal Kombat 2. 2, Normal. And number 1, The Sheep Detective. So that's a rundown of my favorite movies of the year. All right. Buying on DVD. Okay. Yeah, really good movie. Um, I would say I'm surprised, but I know it's gotten good reviews. So I think a lot of people like the movie. It's just so much better than all the blockbusters too. There's all these big blockbuster movies, and they always fail. And then you get this little known movie, and that happens every year, where you discover this little known movie that you kind of know about, but no one's talking about, and they go, "Yeah, this is the best movie of the year. It's way better than all these big blockbusters they're spending all this money on." I said it doesn't have a lot of big. I mean, well, the Sheep's actually really good voice actors. I mean, really good actors doing the voicing, I would say. Then Hugh Jackman's in it a little bit. And then that's about it. Oh, Emma Thompson's in there, so that's a pretty big name. But yeah. All right. Again, this is just a random live stream kind of. It's on my birthday. Of course, turned 43. I turned, I guess, 43 this morning. So um it's just kind of just one for fun. Unfortunately, I can only get Adam on the channel. If I could get more friends on the channel, we would have more discussion. So it's a little bit harder doing this by myself. And so mainly I just wanted to talk about the movies I saw this year. And like I said, I'm going to England in October. Very excited. I bought my tickets already. I have my plane tickets. uh, just a couple of things I need to do to get ready for that. So the last thing I'm gonna do, I guess, before I leave, and thank you to anybody that wished me happy birthday. Thank you, appreciate it. And anybody that's in the comments and is watching this, I appreciate you guys so much. Anyways, but I'm going to show some things I bought recently, and I actually have some unboxing to do as well. So we can see some stuff that I bought. First, some stuff I've already opened that I bought recently that I don't think I've talked about on the channel. Um, One of the things is a book I bought called The Beatles, the biography by Bob Spitz. Um, it's a pretty good, lengthy book. I think it's like 800 some pages long, so it's really good. I just started reading it recently. Um, Actually, kind of read this when it came out. I'm trying to think, and I feel like I it might have been at least 10. Let's see, came out in 2005. Yeah, so 20 some years ago it came out. And I actually listened to the book, what do you call it? The audio book of this. So I've never actually owned the book or read the actual book, but I listened to the audio, which was done by Alfred Molina. And I just listened to it. I don't know why I did it that way instead of buying the book. And I think I've listened to it as I was like driving or something, as I was driving somewhere, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good biography. So I've always wanted to buy this and actually read it and actually own it. Uh, because it's the only Beatles biography I have that's like a total Beatles. I have biographies on all four Beatles. I have one on Paul, George, Ringo, John. And I have a lot of other books about the Beatles, of course. And then I have Mark Lewison's first book, Tuning In, all those years, whatever. The first of the, I think, 3-volume series that he's doing. He's only done one book in the series, and that book was done like 12 years ago or something. So we're still waiting for a second book by Mark Lewison, which is going to be amazing. And that book itself was like 800 pages long, and that was only covering basically their childhood to 1962. So the next book I think is going to cover like 63 through 67 or something like that, you know. So really excited about that book. But as I'm waiting for that book to come out, definitely want to read through this, get a whole. This covers a whole biography of the Beatles. It even covers their childhood, and even covers from remember from the audio. It even covers like a lot about George Martin, a lot about Brian Epstein and some of the other people that are a big part of the Beatles story. So I do love that they even delve into some of the other major people that play a part in the Beatles. But this kind of covers all their childhood stuff, and then of course the whole Beatles career basically until they break up. I think basically is where it stops. So yeah, love to read and get to reading this again and getting the. I never get tired about reading about the Beatles or watching Beatle documentaries. Anyways, all right. Vinyl that I bought recently, I got Highway 61 Revisited by Bob Dylan. Obviously, it's probably his biggest, most famous uh, album. Came out in '65. Um, Famous for being kind of first or second that combines his folk with electric, which was very groundbreaking at the time. Because folk was mostly just acoustic guitar work, and this was controversial. Him putting electric guitars to it and all that. Anyways, obviously this is one everybody has to buy. It's like if you know Bob Dylan at all, you like Bob Dylan at all, you got to get this. And so it's taken me a while. I finally got this, and I always wanted to get on vinyl for some reason. I always felt like it's a must vinyl buy. I do have Blonde on Blonde and Blood on the Tracks on CD, and I have The Times Are Changing and Another Side of Bob Dylan on CD. So I have 4 albums on CD, and this first one I bought on vinyl. So I got 5 Bob Dylan albums so far. I'm a bigger fan of his early work, to be honest. Um After Blonde on Blonde, I'm not like a big fan of his stuff after that. But obviously, like a Rolling Stone is like my favorite Bob Dylan song. It's so good. Starts out this album. Bad with Thin Man's pretty good. I enjoy that quite a bit. And then Queen Jane Approximately, what a great song. It's kind of an underrated hidden gem song I really like. And then Desolation Rose, this 10-minute epic song at the end, I think is really good. Great closer too. I'm not as crazy about his bluesy stuff. That's the only thing I don't like about the album. But there's some great songs in here, obviously. And we'll be on my Game Changer series. I'll be talking about this as one of the Game Changers. All right, some CDs I bought. I got Grand Illusion by Styx. Uh, I don't listen to a lot of Styx. I know them by name, but haven't listened to a lot of their stuff. And as I'm going through my top 10 favorite albums per year, this one's coming up because this is 1977. That's the next year that we're doing on the channel. With I do it with Scott and Briar and Nick. We do our top 10 albums each year. We just did 76 last. So I believe so 77, I think is coming up. And I had to buy this because I have this is the only album I didn't have in my top 10. So buying this album, I now have all the albums in my top 10 for 1977. So I'm kind of happy. That's the first time I've had all 10 albums in my physical media. So I get to talk about all 10 of them and show them up. Anyway, so but yeah, I really like this album by Styx. I didn't know anything about them, and then when I came across this album, I was like, wow, this is a really good album. Uh, Again, I haven't really listened to a lot more, but so far I'd say this might be the best album. It has kind of almost a storyline kind of through it, I think, or kind of almost a rock opera kind of style to it that I like. But it has some of their big songs, mainly "Fooling Yourself." That is such a good song, so catchy. That you're fooling yourself. You don't believe. Oh, so good. And then "Come Sail Away," another really great song on here. I think those are the two big songs on here. But overall, I think really good album. Now we got McCartney 3. Talking about an album I like. This is an album I don't care for. I've never been a big fan of this. This came out in 2020. Is the last one he came out with until now. He got Boys of Dungeon Lane, which I'm liking that album more and more. I hear it. I'm actually quite liking Boys of Dungeon Lane. I think it's way better than this. I know Sam disagrees. I know Americana Sam really likes this album. I don't know. I didn't like it too much. It's just him. Uh, he's doing all the parts on. He basically wrote the songs. He's doing all the instrumentation. He's producing it. He doesn't have much input, I think, and maybe that's the problem. He needs input from other people, or he needs other people involved. Because I don't know, no, I didn't like any of the songs. They're just really boring album, I think. So happy he came out with Boys of Dungeon Lane. I think that's such a good album comparatively. Then I got Invisible Touch by Genesis. This was the first Genesis album I've ever heard, and it's my favorite still to this day. I did a whole Genesis deep dive. I've listened to other albums. Really like this album, and the more I go back to it, the more I really love this album. And this, I had to get this because I want to talk about it when I get to that series with my top 10 albums of the year, because this is definitely going to be my top 10 albums. I think of what 86 or something like that when it comes out. But yeah, I mean, Invisible Touch, Land of Confusion, um, and Into Deep. Oh my gosh, those are like three of the best Genesis songs of all time for me, or they're all three like in the top five probably. I mean, this has the best Genesis music, and it's funny because it sounds much different than the early stuff. This is Phil Collins like more pop period, while the early stuff is more their prog period. But I'm a much fan of the pop period than the prog period. But yeah, those songs are so good. And then even got Tonight, Tonight, Tonight is good. I think Throwing It All Away I really liked as well. Yeah, really great Genesis album. It's a must. I had to get. And I got Tangle in the Night by Fleetwood Mac, one of my favorite Fleetwood Mac albums. And again, I had to get it for my '80s series because it's one of my favorite albums of one of the year it came out in '80s. And so I had to get it so I can show it off when we get to the '80s part. Um, but yeah, it's like their last. I say one of their last great albums. I think most people. I really like Mirage as well, and I do like Time a lot. Though a lot of people don't. But yeah, this is a great album. Yeah, let's see. Little Lies is the big hit off here. Is really great. I think Caroline's pretty good if I remember right. It's been a while since I've listened to it, but I remember really liking this album. Mystified is good. Yeah, Everywhere is great. Yeah, really good stuff. It's definitely part of their pop period, of course, with Buckingham and Nix in there, and writing some great catchy pop tunes. All right, the last CD I have so far that I've already opened is I have Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere by Neil Young, which came out I think '69, and it was in my top 10. I think it was in my top 10 albums of that year, maybe if I remember right. Yeah, really good album. This is like his second album, but it's like his first big album. They came out before he did like this album, and he was in. Then next year he was in Deja Vu with the with the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, which is an amazing album. So man, he did this, then he did that, and then he does After the Gold Rush, which is a great album, and then he does Harvest after that, which is another. I mean, he that was just one great album after another, and this is like the first of his kind of really good run of albums that he does with solo and then with Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. This is a more rocking album than like After the Gold Rush or Harvest. He has a lot of songs that are very long on here with some great guitar work on here, showing what a great guitar player he is. But Cinnamon Girl is one of his great, not very long either. Everybody Knows It's Nowhere is a really good song. My favorite song on here is Round and Round, such an underrated song. I absolutely love that song from Neil Young. Down by the River, this is a 9 minute song, long, but man, great guitar stuff there. And then Cowgirl in the Sand is 10 minutes and 30 seconds. That's a really long song, but again, great guitar work on that song as well. All right, so let's do some unboxing. It's like I got a CD here. I bought these, so I these aren't surprises, but it'd be a surprise to you. Won't be surprised to me. Hopefully, I can rip this up pretty easy. We have Forward by the Swell Season. This album came out last year. Probably it's my favorite album that I've heard last year. This is now completes my Swell Season uh, CDs because I have the Swell Season, their first CD. Plus, I have Once, the soundtrack to the movie that they are in. And then I have Strict Joy, which is one of my favorite albums of all time. It's my top 10 favorite albums. They came out in 2009. Then they went on 16-year hiatus and then finally came back together and made another album in 2025. This album Forward, anyways. Yeah, I love these two individuals, the Swell Season, Glenn Hansard and Marketa Glova. Glenn Hansard from Ireland, Marketa Glover from Czech Republic. Great duo. Wish they'd come out with more albums because I love their overall sound. Overall, I think I give this a 9 out of 10. Uh, Factory Street Bells, great opener. My third favorite song in there. My three favorite songs are the first three songs. It's like Factory Street Bells is number three. People used to know, or People used to be great song by Marketa Glova. And then Stuck in Reverse is my favorite song on this album. And it's one of my favorite songs from them of all time. It's a song I've listened to so many times. Very emotional, I think, song about, trying to move on from a relationship. Great vocals from Glenn Hansard, but yeah, it's kind of a cardboard case. What do you call that case there? But yeah, it's like a little booklet there. Yeah, I hope they keep coming out with more albums because I love all their albums. Anyway, so glad to have that. And me, and too bad Adam wasn't here because me and Adam talked about this album on my channel a couple months ago. All right, we have Green from REM. Again, I was trying to get all my favorite 80s albums, kind of, so I was ready for my 80s series. And I'm going to get into REM because Scott won my trivia contest that I did last time. And I had him pick a band for me to deep dive. He picked REM. So that's REM. And I've been listening to a lot of their music lately, kind of going through my top 10 favorite albums per year. And so as I got into the late 80s into early 90s, I'm really liking REM, including this one. I think this is a really good album. Uh, this kind of starts a good run with this. Out of Time, Automatic for the People, I think is their best stuff. Anyway, so I'm definitely gonna be talking about this album when I get to their 80s. But anyways, and it's probably gonna be towards the top of my favorite REM albums when I do my ranking of REM albums and go through their deep dive and all this. Anyways, so yeah, I had to get my first REM album I've ever bought. Uh, I think like Documents pretty good. Out of Time and Automatic for People, I think have been my favorite that I've heard. This is kind of one of the first Document. I think was the first album that really started hitting their big hits, and this one's got some good hit songs on it as well, including "Stand," really good song. Um, "Orange Crush," really good song on here as well. Yeah, so those were the two like big hits off the album, really good. But overall, the album's quite good, anyways. So good Green Day album. Now my two of the boxes, I bought some DVDs. That's what we're gonna see next. So I got some bigger boxes open. I got my box cutter here. Appreciate anybody watching this. I mean, this is just gotta do something for my birthday. I happen to be off. I naturally am off today. It just happens to be my day off, so it's kind of nice. Don't have to work on my birthday, and not doing anything exciting tonight. Like I said, I went out to eat this morning. All right. All right. Recently, Amazon Prime had like I recently got Amazon Prime. I finally went. I've been thinking about it, but I finally was like, yeah, I need to get Amazon Prime. One for the streaming service. So now I'm watching Amazon streaming service lately, and some good stuff. I've been watching. I watched the first episode of Spider Noir with Nick Cage. It came out. I watched the first episode. I thought it was pretty boring, but I'm not a film noir fan. But I thought it was an interesting idea. So I guess I'll keep watching. Hopefully, it gets better. Um, Most people have given it pretty good reviews, so we'll see. Okay. Um, I've been watching Fallout season two. I've watched a couple episodes of that. I like Fallout season one, so yeah, I'm enjoying that. I really love uh, Walter Grogan's character, the ghoul, whatever. It's such a great character. And man, is it pretty violent in the show too. So I'm watching that, and I'm watching Jacker season three, which is really good. I love Jack or Reacher. I think it's called Reacher, I guess. I watched Reacher season one, season two. Love those. Some of the best television nobody talks about. Great action, great storylines, and I even like Alan Richardson, the lead, is so good in the lead of this. It's such a well written show. It's like most shows don't have good writers, and this show's got good writers. The action scenes are so good. It's like an overall story, like from beginning to end. And I just love each season is just a whole different story about this Reacher and situation he gets into. Anyway, so yeah, I'm really enjoying that. So that's what I've been watching, kind of. But anyways, so I got Amazon Prime. So there was this Prime Day that came out this last week where they had good deals, and it's hard to pass a good deal, especially on items that are very big. And there's in the big DVD series, and so I bought some. You'll see some DVD series, and one of them, first one I'll talk about, is this big box set of the Three Stooges. The Three Stooges 20 disc ultimate Blu-ray collection. So I got this really cool box with the Three Stooges there. Um, yeah, I'm a big fan of the Three Stooges. When I was a kid, I watched the heck out of the shorts. I forget what I feel like Sunday morning or Saturday morning on some station they used to play old Three Stooges, shorts, and I loved watching them. I don't know, I get a kick out of uh, all the antics of them. They're very funny, slapstick, physical humor, but I like that type of humor, especially as a kid. So mostly I bought this. Oh my gosh! Oh wow! I saw something, I pushed it, and I didn't know that was going to happen. There's a button on top that you push. I was like, "What is that?" And I pushed it, and evidently, wow, it has a whole sound, some sound bites from. That was really cool. I love that. That was fun. uh Anyways, yeah, so I was a big, this is more a nostalgia pick, as being a big fan as a kid of the Three Stooges. And I saw this on the Prime Deal thing, this whole box set of a bunch of Three Stooges stuff, and I was like, I couldn't pass it up. I love big box sets like this where you get multiple things in one deal, so you can spend a lot of time watching and enjoying it. Anyways, so I'll open up a little more maybe. So I got these two side things that you open up here. Never seen anything like this before. Okay. So, okay, this comes off. So top part comes off like that. Boy, that was interesting. So it looks like there's 5 Blu-ray discs inside. I'll put that out. And let's see what we got. Yeah, volume 1 shorts, it says. Um, and so we got a lot of the shorts we got, and they're by year. So we got some from 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. So a lot of maybe big shorts. So yeah, great. Love. I kind of got this because really wanted to go back and watch some of the shorts I remember as a kid. So pretty cool. Got the pictures on the disc here. So yeah, you got a little booklet there anyway. So that's disc 1. Then we got disc 2. We got, or I say disc 2. I don't know what you guys call it. Volume 2 shorts. So this is 1942 through 1949. So, and there's like maybe 5, 6 shorts per year, maybe 4. So they're just showing hopefully some of the best shorts that came out. I don't know how many they must have came up with a lot of shorts, because I mean it's 2 discs just of shorts anyway so far. Yeah, so that's the second disc. Again, I guess just the usual. Oop. Of course, one falls out every time I do that. They never are secure, are they? All right. All right. Volume 3, Shorts and More. All right. So this, we got shorts from 1950 through 1957. So start with what, 34? So 1934 to 1957. So I mean, I didn't realize they did it that long. So I mean, 23 years of shorts. Obviously, lots. It'd be interesting because obviously you start with, I think you start with Mo, Larry, and like Shemp maybe, or Curly Joe. I can't remember which comes first. Maybe it's Curly Joe. Curly Joe. That's the best. The best. I don't know, cast or whatever. When you got Mo, Larry, and Curly Joe. Curly Joe being the funniest one, of course. Obviously, he's so good. And then he gets health problems, and he leaves, and then they bring in their old, and they're all Mo and Curly Joe are brothers, and then Larry's just a friend. Then Shemp, the another brother, he replaces Curly Joe, and Shemp is pretty funny. I like Shemp. The Shemp stuff is good too. So I know he's in there for a bit, and then eventually he leaves, and then they bring in, I say Curly Joe, not Curly Joe, Curly. I'm so stupid. It's Larry. It's Mo, Larry, and Curly. Sorry, it's Curly, and who's the youngest brother, and then he gets replaced by Shemp. I think it's like the oldest brother, and then he gets replaced by just another actor that's not related, and they call him Curly Joe because he's kind of bald, but he's not as funny. And then I know they have another actor in there that I think they got another bald actor to take the place of the Curly character. But anyway, so I'm guessing we'll see some differences in that character being changed. Mo and Larry are the same throughout the whole thing. So yeah, lots of shorts to watch. And then we have color rapisodes featuring the Three Stooges. Um, and then we have Columbia comedy shorts featuring Shemp Howard. Okay, so I don't know. So these are the ones with Shemp Howard. Then we got Columbia comedy shorts starring Shemp Howard, another one. So a lot of those throughout the years. Columbia comedy shorts starring Joe Besser. So that's one of the other actors that took the place of Curly, basically. I don't know if that's Curly Joe. That's Joe Besser, might be. And then we got Columbia comedy shorts starring Joe DeRita. So another Joe. I think he's another actor who took the place of Curly. So we got. So maybe all those are maybe all the shorts are Curly episodes, and then we got one disc that are Shemp episodes, which so he only gets one. He gets two discs basically within the series within this thing. And then or this that's just 11. So disc 12, then we get Joe Besser and Joe DeRita. So we get they split up the shorts that have those three different actors. Interesting. All right, so volume 4, we have the films. And they did do like 7 or 8 films, I think, uh, which is interesting. And I had some of these, I think, on maybe taped on VHS when I was a kid. I know uh, I had Around the World in a Haze. I think it's like Around the World in 80 Days, kind of parody film, or whatever you want to call it, with the Three Stooges. And then there was one where it was a western. I know it's on here. And then I had the Snow White and the Three Stooges as well. I think those were the Three Stooges movies I had as a kid, like on VHS or something like that. I used to watch over and over again. I did love them. The only problem is they're all, I think, Joe. They're Curly Joe. This is after Curly left, and Shemp's not even on these movies. I don't think. I think they're all Curly Joe. So not as funny as if Curly was in them, but still, again, they're probably not great films, but it's more for nostalgia reasons. I remember watching these as a kid. But anyway, so we do have on disc 13, we've got Time Out for Rhythm, which I don't know that movie, but from 1941. And then disc 14, we've got Rockin' in the Rockies from 1945. I think that's a one where they get on a rocket ship and they go out in outer space. I think on that one. Disc 15, we have, oh no, never mind. Have Rocket Will Travel is disc 15. So I think that's the one I've heard of from 1959. So I don't know the 41 and 45 one at all, but 1959, we have so again, the shorts go all the way to 1957. And so it feels like after they're famous for 20 some years, doing shorts is really all they did. They finally started getting full length feature films from Columbia uh, much later. That's why it's all Curly Joe and so forth. But the 16, we have the Three Stooges meet Hercules. I've heard of that. That's from 62. So again, from 34 to 62, you're talking almost that's 28 years from the start to that point. Anyways, so I've heard of that film, haven't seen it. And then volume 4, of course, is Films and More. We have the Three Stooges in Orbit, so another space one. So maybe I'm wrong. One of those, there's a couple space ones, evidently. And then this 18, we have the Three Stooges go around the world in a days. That's one I watched the most as a kid, probably. And so I'd be interested in going back to that one because I'll remember that one a lot better. That's from 63 even. And then we got The Outlaws is Coming. That's the Western one that I used to watch as a kid that I really enjoyed. And then we have the Three Stooges from 2000. So it's not even one of the original cast ones. It's the one that they remade Three Stooges with. So they threw that in here as well. Kind of funny. I remember not really thinking that was that great of a movie, but all right. Then after that, we had the Three Stooges scrapbook and Movie Maniacs, Leonard Maltin, and Three Stooges. So we have Leonard Maltin in 2024 talking about the Three Stooges. So that's kind of some of the special features on there. Anyway, so yeah, really cool. 5 disc, Three Stooges. I really love this box set, and it's so cool that it made noise. That was actually a lot of fun. Um, and I don't get a lot of big box sets like this, so this is always cool to get something like this. So anybody who's watching this far, love to hear your thoughts on the Three Stooges, and if you know anything about their shorts or their films, or if I'm the one that's the biggest fan of this. All right, so it goes like that, and then like this. Oh wait, no, nope, I did it wrong. It goes like that, then like that. All right, here's my big Three Stooges box set. So look forward to spend some time on that one. That's not a fun place to put it. All right, I got another box here. I need to unbox. Again, appreciate anybody watching this far. I guess I like to do this on my birthday. I got this the other day, but I was like, I don't want to open it yet. I'll open it live on live stream. People can see what it looks like when it's first open. Like open a present. All right, two more. Now I got two complete series of two of my favorite TV shows of all time. Again, it was just these were all like 30% off or something like that because it was Prom Day or whatever. And because I just recently got my subscription, I get free shipping, and it took them like 2 days to ship it. So that's kind of nice. I got that going now for me. And I'm just taking out the plastic so I can really look at these. Oh boy. Again, I usually don't buy complete series. I usually, when I'm buying a TV show, I usually just buy them like one disc at a time. But it was nice seeing these like the whole series in one deal, and these cost maybe $100, and that's with the 30% off. So they're usually pretty expensive. I remember when these first came out, like when you first started buying uh, TV shows on DVD, you buy like a whole season. Of course, you buy them season by season usually, and so you buy like a whole season, and it would cost like $100. It felt like a season or something. It felt like it cost a lot of money. Maybe not $100, but it felt like it cost so much money per season that I was like, wow. All right, let's see. Make some room here. Let's. I got The Office. The complete series of The Office show, seasons 1 through 9 on 30 discs. Yeah, huge fan of The Office, obviously the U.S. Office with Steve Carell there as Michael Scott. I watched this as from beginning to end. I watched the show when it first came out, and man, this is such a funny kind of uh, what do you call it, work related situation comedy. Great characters. Michael Scott, one of the funniest characters ever on TV. And yeah, really excited to see this. When I saw the whole series, I was like, oh man, yeah. I don't have any of this on DVD, so or Blu-ray. I'm sure this might be Blu-ray. Hope so. Anyways, so yeah, definitely had to jump at the chance because the only TV series I have in full is Seinfeld right now. I have the complete Seinfeld show, but it's funny, in Seinfeld I have all in different, season discs. This one is big box set, which has two, looks like two huge, uh, that has all the shows on it. So here we got seasons 1 through 5. Oh, of course, a bunch of them fall out as I open it. Oh boy, that's the hard part is getting through all these. Boy, don't know how this is supposed to go. I guess they're all come together. Oh boy, man, they all just fall out when you open it. So I gotta figure out how to put it back together at some point. Maybe just go like that. Sorry, technical difficulties. Okay, that's in place. It's crazy how they fit all these DVDs in one little thing. But what is this? Uh, Anyway, so season 1 through 5 on this. I can't afraid to even shut this thing. I'm gonna take some out. Figure out how to do this later, I guess. All right. And then we got 6 through 9, which again I'm going to open it and ruin it. Oh boy, they're hard to open. Okay, so maybe I can show a little bit of this one. It's intact, but all the DVDs looks like they're color coded for season. Okay, kind of difficult packaging, I will say. But anyways, but it's a nice way to get all of them in one big set. Maybe takes up less space, I suppose, too. So that's a good thing. Just make one big one instead of a bunch of little ones. Anyways, all right. I'm sure we'll have many bonus features. Looks like a lot of. I love commentary, so I'll watch all. I'm gonna go through the whole series and watch all the commentaries, all the special stuff on there. So that's what I was most looking forward to. I will say, was it season 8 and 9 are not particularly that great because I think Steve Carell leaves after what season 6, maybe 7. He leaves, and it's not nearly as good. So they probably should have ended it once he left. But I'll go through it and see what happens. I guess. All right. So again, comment what you think about The Office if you have these on Blu-ray as well. All right, now my last item I'll show before I'll end this live stream is I got Star Trek: The Next Generation complete series again. So happy just to get the whole series in one go. In this kind of big box set here with two big things that hold all the DVDs. Again, this probably again went in like 9 seasons. I don't know if it says anywhere. Uh, but like at the back has some of the characters there. See, it's a continued mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek a new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no one has gone before. So the very beginning part of the show. Looks like we got special features, reunification 25 years after Star Trek: The Next Generation, and Star Trek: The Next Generation inside the writers' room and more. So definitely looking forward to the special features. That's why I buy these mostly for the special features. I mean, it's fun to watch the episodes, but then at the same time, I'm like, man, I just want to see all the behind the scenes stuff. Anyway, so really good. And I'm a big fan of Star Trek Next Generation. It was my Star Trek growing up because I was alive when this was going on in the 90s. Like I didn't watch it at first, I think, because it started in the late 80s, maybe. But once we got into somewhere in the 90s, I remember just loving it. Was like once a week at night, of course, it came on, and my whole family got together and we'd watch this together. So it was like a really great family bonding experience watching Star Trek together. Um, because my parents, of course, were fans of the original series because they were alive back in the 60s. And I think the original series is okay, but I always thought this is my favorite Star Trek show was the Next Generation. And it's such great characters, great writing, great sci-fi. If you like sci-fi, I think this still holds up. It's a great show. Here, I open up, see if anything falls out. Kind of blue discs here. No, it's called a code name, and there's the office, but yeah, so you got see if you can see there's some pictures inside there, but yeah, got all yeah, so we got see energized taking the next generation to the next level. What's cool is I have all the movies on DVD as well. So I got this whole series, all the movies and some stuff like that. So I don't know if I'm the biggest Trekkie, but I do love Star Trek Next Generation. See, resistance is futile. It simulates Star Trek Next Generation, so a making of. And then we got gag reels, deleted scenes, and audio commentary on selected episodes. So this is the 5 through 7. And so we got Beyond the 5 Year Mission, The Evolution of Star Trek The Next Generation. In Conversation, the music of Star Trek The Next Generation. The Sky's the Limit, The Eclipse of Star Trek The Next Generation. Requiem, A Remembrance of Star Trek The Next Generation. And then gag reel, delete scenes, and audio commentary on episodes. So yeah, love watching all the special features in there. Again, looks like I guess the last one. Anyways, all that stuff. Anyway, so yeah, so let me know in the comments. Anybody big Star Trek Next Generation fan like me, and he watched the series. We got the box set. Love to hear any thoughts. Anyway, so yeah, so happy. Got Star Trek. I got Three Stooges. And I got The Office. So lots of watching to do. Yeah, very happy to have all that stuff. Anyway, so I hope everybody enjoyed that, seeing what I got here for my birthday. And again, thank you to Adam from What the Gym for coming on and talking with me for a little bit. And everybody in the comments, appreciate you wishing me happy birthday and for tuning in. And thanks to anybody who's tuning in afterwards. And hope everybody has a great rest of the week. And I will talk to you later.